Good morning. I'm Mary Walker, and I have come to you this morning to tell you how Christ by the Sea United Methodist Church has influenced my life. Now, in 1984, I moved from the Chicago area to Vero Beach, and I brought with me two teenagers. Audrey was 17 and Arthur was 14. We also had two Dalmatians, a cat named Waldo, a tank of goldfish, and for me, I had a case of shingles. After 4 years, rather difficult years, the kids went off to college. There weren't any cats and dogs. Fish all died. So it was time for me to downsize. So I moved to the beach. It was a given thing that I went to Christ by the Sea. I'd been a Methodist all my life, and my husband had been a Methodist minister, and the church was only 3 blocks from the house. I did the math in 1988. That made me a member of this church for 33 years. I've been on the council meetings for numerous times. I've been in the committees, and I finished all of that being a lay leader for 3 years. Now, I was very active in the UMW, and I can remember one time that we decided that we needed to have a Sunday morning service with only UMW United Methodist women participating. So we had a choir that was all women, and the ushers were all women. And when it came time to who was to be the preacher, it turned out to be me. So I have one sermon under my belt. Now, I've helped with Sunday school. Gail Morgan and I were teaching a children's class, and it was always up for grabs as who had the best way to keep and hold their interests. We learned a lot those years, and probably we learned more than their students. Then there was Bible school. And June would come to me and say, we don't have very many people that have signed up for Bible school. Can you get some kids? So I would go down to West Palm and get my 8 great-grandchildren and bring them up. And every morning, all 9 of us would come to Bible school. I've been in small groups. I've been in Bible studies. We had Wednesday night studies, and we had Wednesday dinners. And I cooked in the kitchen. I cooked a lot in the kitchen. I sang by Ladies by the Sea. And then there was the choir and the cantatas. And at one time, I bought a bass guitar and learned how to play it so I could be in the praise band. That was a lot of fun. And I'm telling you all of this because I want to impress upon you how important it is to be a part of the programs and the activities of the church. They're so rewarding. So often you get involved, and all of a sudden it's a joyful thing. So when somebody asks you to be on a committee, say yes, or even volunteer when they need somebody. You find that you will be growing, and not only that, but you get to work with these wonderfully nice people. I've been with the church when it was good times and not so good times. I wonder if you remember when there was a hole in our colored windows, our stained glass windows. Somebody was angry and threw rocks through them. Or maybe you remember when the lightning struck our steeple. It acted like a giant lightning rod in there. Or maybe you remember the hurricanes where the water was dripping from the ceiling and the pews were falling apart because of the moisture. We couldn't hold the services here. I remember going one time to the funeral home, have a service. There were good times too. I remember when the organ was new. Then also I remember when Marcos went to New York City and bought the piano. And I'm telling you all this because it's fun to reminisce. But I still haven't told you how Christ by the Sea United Methodist Church has influenced my life. I was in a quandary because I couldn't quite figure out how to tell you. Then I remembered that whenever you have a concept or an idea that you can't get your head around, You just reduce it to its smallest form, and then you can understand it a little better. So that's what I did, and the most simple form turned out to be something that I learned in kindergarten. It's very simple, and it is a visual thing. So visualize a room full of 4 or 5-year-olds with their little hands and their 10 little fingers and thumbs. Here's a church, here's a steeple. Open the doors, see all the people. The church is a building, but it's far more than that. The church has stained glass windows. It has a ceiling that looks like a boat that's just been pulled up on shore and flipped over for safekeeping, and we all sit under it all comfy and cozy. But it's more than that. The church is God's house, and when we sing on Sunday mornings, we stand on holy ground. We really do stand on holy ground. The steeple is a representative, it's a symbol of God coming down to his people, and his people coming up to God. God teaches us for a better life. He blesses us, he forgives us, and he loves us. Sing and smile and pray, that's the only way. If you sing and smile and pray, you'll drive the clouds away. Then open the doors and see all the people, and that's us. This is our church. When we sing, I am the church, you are the church, we all are the church of God. Now before I go, I want to read a poem. It's called Churches of America. Churches of America, you have a choice. Die in silence or find your voice. Pray with boldness, the church is a place. God gives us his power and gives us his grace to stand on his promises and believes what's true. We are his people and he'll see us through. Churches of America, be faith strong. Put on God's armor and fight what's wrong. Plead for forgiveness our complacent ways. Lead us through these final days. Speak out with confidence, your voice will be heard, for God is almighty and he has the last word. In the last 18 months, the world that we live in has shifted. It's not like it used to be, but we do have hope. Our minister has been talking about wonderful beginnings, and we're looking forward to a hopeful new beginning with our church. Here's a church, here's a steeple. Open the doors, see all the people.